We're continuing dwindling down our previews. NFC West is up next. Very interesting story developing out in San Francisco.
Ooh, is the quarterback controversy? What is it?
I think so.
You think Trey Lance gets the starting job?
No, hell no. That's the problem. Brock Purdy.
Uh-huh.
Here's the fascinating thing about what's happening in the NFC West. You gave up all these picks for Trey Lance, right? Then you draft him 3 overall with Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster, who brought you to a Super Bowl, a couple NFC title games, but then you draft this kid out of nowhere, and then he sucks. And Mike Shanahan, or I'm sorry, that's his dad, Kyle Shanahan, who's supposed to be some quarterback whisperer, can't get it fucking right with these quarterbacks. Which one? Which one is it? Come on, tell me. Jimmy G, he sat there and said he hated on Jimmy G all season while he was there. And then all of a sudden, when Jimmy G's gone, he's saying he's the best quarterback the Niners have had since Steve Young. Kind of shit is that? And then you traded all them picks to draft a quarterback at number 3, who for some reason can't beat out Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, who is now your unquestioned starter.
Yeah.
Who threw 7 picks in joint practice today.
Just
August
practice.
16th.
Just practice.
Coming off of injury. So if Lance can't even get a backup job with the Niners, and he's about to get discarded for Brock Purdy, they got Sam Darnold there. What'd you bring Sam Darnold in there for? Because if Brock Purdy's your starter, that means Trey Lance is your backup, right?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Sam Darnold's there now, former top pick in a draft. So what if he beats out Trey Lance for the backup role? I mean, Sam Darnold's been doing all right in practice, apparently. Is this it's got to be one of the worst trade and draft picks in NFL history. And the guy's only played like 3 games. And they don't even know. And he's been there, 3 years now. I get that he hasn't played 3 years, but he's been there about 3 years. And people there's people who are extreme Trey Lance believers.
Yeah.
And then you have the extreme Trey Lance haters or doubters. But from what I can tell as an objective fan, somebody who has no skin in the game, if this kid had 3 years to at least sit and watch, you would think that there wouldn't be any type of questioning of his ability. But at every turn, you're not giving this kid a chance. For what reason? Brock Purdy, the 245th pick in an NFL draft, is better? You think everybody in the world missed on Brock Purdy? Or is it that Brock Purdy came in and is just better than Trey Lance? There's no way you can trust a QB who's getting beat out by the last pick of the draft. I don't know about you, Bert. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where are they holding their cards back because, putting stock in Trey Lance, they not want people to know that he was an absolute bust. And maybe they're trying to limit to I guess up his value. So if they did want to deal him somewhere, he'd be worth something. I honestly don't know. But you bring up an interesting point with Matt Stafford there. Now, is Matt Stafford a good quarterback? No.
Sam Darnold.
That's right. Sorry, Sam Darnold. See, I got
We're going to talk about Matt Stafford in a second.
Yeah. Is Sam Darnold a good quarterback? No. Is he serviceable? Yeah. Is he serviceable if Brock Purdy starts to throw picks left and right? Yeah. Because, ultimately, at this point, they're basically the same guy. So it's either, and we said this last year when we were talking about the Jimmy G thing, you either keep Trey in, keep Jimmy on the sidelines, but if you were going back and forth, it does nothing for Trey Lance's development. And it's shown, even Brock Purdy jumping in after the injuries they faced last year and him being the go-to savior in the interim. And now from a development standpoint, all throughout camp, you're announcing him as the clear starter, but you're just letting Trey Lance fall to the wayside. Something's wrong there. Now, if we're going to talk about this team, this is literally the only controversy they have because we know they have weapons in the backfield. We know they're on either side of the quarterback. George Kittle stays healthy. He's a good out too. And then their defense is straight up nasty. So If they know what they're doing at this position, then I do believe that the Niners will take this division in itself. If they don't figure this out,
Yeah.
I mean, this is the missing link, and everything else falls like dominoes, then we're going to be looking at a Seahawks-led division here.
So, yeah, Kyle said that Jimmy was the best since Steve Young, and then says Brock Purdy's the real deal, but Trey Lance can somehow still be the future of the Niners. I don't know if Kyle Shanahan knows what he's doing.
I don't think he knows how to talk half the time. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's so weird. He's like half coach speak, half
Politics.
like I'm just gonna say, yeah, like it's weird. It's like a weird like straddling of the fence, but you're hard lining or hard stancing one position. It's just a weird thing he's doing.
It's like he's just trying not to be wrong. It's like, listen,
right,
man,
right.
dude,
He's
like,
hedging his bets. He's like in a constant state of hedge, right? But at the end of the day, you gave up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance, man. And Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy is the star QB on that team. Look what he did last year. That's like buying a Picasso and then realizing that like the macaroni picture your kid did in kindergarten is better. That's exactly what it's like, man.
Yes.
And so I don't know what the Niners are going to do. It's a big question mark, and that leads us to the order. Bert, in the NFC West. I'm gonna do mine. We'll do the worst 4th place team to the 1st place, which obviously will lead to who's going to win that division. Number 4 for me is the Cardinals. They are in a straight up rebuilding year, and that's virtue of literally Kyle Murray's probably going to miss up to half of the season. He may be back a little bit sooner, but he's probably going to miss the first 6 games. Sorry. I love Colt McCoy, but best quarterback name of all time. It's just the Cardinals just have a slew of problems. I don't know what kind of weapons they're dealing with. Just they're gearing for next year. That's okay. They're in a soft rebuild.
I mean, that's the thing. I agree with you 100%. And Colt McCoy, like as much as we'd like to think he can come in like a Geno Smith type guy and get it done when there's zero expectations. But you mentioned it, like what type of weapons you're dealing with. And you got James Conner in the backfield, which is fine. And Marquise Brown when he's healthy. But other than that, I mean, I'm looking at depth charts right now. You're dealing with the likes of a Rondell Moore. And look, nothing against these guys, but when you're going up against talents like a DK or Debo, you know, like it's just, man, I'm with you on that one. I think the odds have them dead last by a mile. So I'm going to agree with you. They're in my 4th spot as well.
If they win 6 games, it'll be a miracle.
It would be. It'd be a win for them, actually.
Number 3, Bert, we just talked about them. I'm going to go with San Francisco.
Wow. Okay.
Because I think the quarterback play, I think you get tape on Brock Purdy. You know how that sophomore slump hits.
Yep.
You know, we made a big deal. And the Niners are a weird team. They could either win this division or they can fall off the face of the earth. I think their quarterback, the Niners are going to miss Jimmy G like we miss Saturday morning cartoons, Bert. I really believe that. I think Brock Purdy will fall back down to earth because I do think he has talent. I think he can be a capable NFL starting quarterback. I don't think this is a Sam Darnold situation. I don't think this is an Andy Dalton situation. I think I think in the right system, he can be good. I see him being a Jared Goff type. You know what I mean? Maybe not somebody that can lead you, but somebody who can put up points and lead and steer the ship.
Yeah.
You know, in that Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff mold.
Yeah.
Maybe he can be better than all of them. Maybe he'll be a notch below.
You might want to take Dak
I don't know
out of that grouping, but I see what you're saying.
Take Dak. All right,
let's take Dak out of that grouping.
Danny Dimes in that. Let's switch with Danny Dimes. Yeah. So I can see him being that. I don't think Trey Lance is any good. Sorry, I'm not an extreme Trey Lance hater. He's been there 3 years, and this
is the last year of that sample that we always talk about, right? Like this is, and honestly, if he doesn't get the chance, he's not going to be able to prove himself. So it's either stay there and let your quarterback career die, or I mean, talk to somebody in the front office, get a trade to a team that could go to Arizona. Fuck, I mean, come on.
Yeah, and honestly, like it's easy for us on the couch, gym class Jerry's like us, to say, "Oh, give the kid a chance. He's good." Like these guys see these guys in practice all the time. Like if he was head and shoulders a clear cut winner, they'd be giving him the opportunities. Something's happening at that practice that Sam Darnold and Brock Purdy, who's coming off of injury, and they're still saying he's going to be the starter, is somehow beating this guy that they traded 3 first-round picks for. So, I'm gonna put them in third place because I think that quarterback situation is going to hurt them a lot more than people think. I don't think the defense is going to be able to cover up a lot of that deficiency. And like you said, it's really more about the division they're in, the competition above them, which brings me to the Rams. Matt Stafford, Hall of very good. I didn't say Hall of sucks. I said very good. Matt Stafford now completely healthy, according to all reports, having a really good camp. The Aaron Donald's still there. They have decent weapons there. Cooper Kupp is still there. I mean, I don't know if they're going to go back to the Super Bowl, but I expect them to be back in NFC title contention, man. Like, I really do. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't. And so I believe in Sean McVay, and not having a good quarterback last year hurts. Like that's clear cut. You have to have a decent quarterback. And I do think Matt Stafford is in the top half of the league, and that's all you need to win in this league if you have good defense and a good coach. So I do have the Rams above them, and which makes the winner of that division the
Geno Smith,
Seattle
Seahawks.
I think Geno Smith, as long as he can do what he did last year, that defense has gotten better. The weapons, got some added weapons there.
Yep.
DK's there. The defense is probably the weak point of that team, but the defense ain't bad. So then they address that a little bit. I'm going to go with the Seahawks to barely edge out the Rams to win that division. I think Geno finally figured it out. I think he has a home and a coach that believes in him, and I think he has the right team around him, and just taking a small step forward with a mixture of some of his competition taking small steps back, and then the Rams kind of catching back up. I do believe the division is wide open, but I'm picking the Seahawks here.
Yeah. So I have the same number 1. I got Seattle. Our 2 and 3 is switched. So I do think the Rams take third in that division. As much talent as they have, even with a healthy Matt Stafford, for some reason, despite the controversy at quarterback and our disbelief in who is under center essentially on the 49ers, I still think with their weapons and their defense, they can make things happen, right? They made Brock Purdy look great last year. After losing quarterback 1 and 2. So it's tough for me to ignore that. And honestly, if they're high on him going into it, despite how terrible Trey Lance is in that whole situation, it's tough for me to look past that. So, I mean, honestly, I think Vegas has Niners taking the division, which terrifies me a little bit. I'm a believer in Geno Smith, though. We're a believer in second chances. So we saw that last year. We were on his side, and I think he's going to carry his weight through this year too. This is going to be I would say, aside from the Cardinals, this, for me, if we're talking about Western teams, this is one of the more exciting divisions to watch this year, plain and simple. Yeah. I just want to see how it shakes out. And like you just said, it's anybody's game between the Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers. Sorry.
Not you, Cardinals. Yeah,
sorry, Cardinals. Yeah. Enjoy the heat. That's it. I'm looking forward to it, and we are inching closer and closer and closer to football season. I cannot wait. But that's my top 4. Well, all 4 rankings, really.
Best uniforms in that division, Bert. Who has the best uniform?
Yeah, so I struggled with this one. I did. And to me, it goes back to throwbacks. Because I had to, so it was between the Rams, and when I say Rams, I mean their LA iteration, because I mean their St. Louis jerseys were god awful, but I have to give it to the Seahawks. I thought about Color Rush, I thought about old school, I thought about their retros that are coming back too, and that not that navy blue, but I don't even know what type of blue they call it. Yeah. And for me, that's what did it. I thought about the Niners, but their jerseys haven't really changed much year over year. The only iteration of their jersey I really liked was when they did that inverted, that goldish color with the red lettering, but they barely wear that. So no, for me, I'm definitely going Seahawks.
Yeah. For me, it was definitely the Seahawks. They just released their throwbacks, the Steve Largent throwbacks. I mean, I love those uniforms. Ricky Waters, that was back when Ricky Waters, when they originally had those uniforms, he was one of my favorite players coming up. I always loved those uniforms. The first football game I've actually watched was the Buffalo Bills and Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it was my first NFL game that I remember watching as a child. And Thurman Thomas, even though the Bills lost, ran for a bunch of yards and had a touchdown. And I love Thurman Thomas. So, but yeah, Seattle was the first NFL game I watched was Seattle, and those beautiful jerseys. So I love that I love the 2 helmet thing, bringing
The
back these
silver
classic
helmets look
uniforms.
nice. Yeah.
The silver helmets look nice. I'm not a fan of Seattle's current uniform set. I don't know if it's the design. It's not really the colors, but now that I see the throwbacks, they should think about switching the colors. I don't
They
know.
should.
Like, try to mix it. Like, I would love to see the return of the silver helmet, maybe with the lime green instead of the standard green. And I don't know how I don't know how the lime green and the royal blue would mesh, but maybe the dark blue and the silver. I don't know. Figure it out. But yeah,
It's not for us, okay?
it's not
Figure
for
it
us.
out.
Yeah, figure it out. Update it a little bit. That's all. I'm not asking for an overhaul, just a little update. I do love the Eagles Kelly Green. That
I
release
know.
came out. Oh, they look so
They're
good. They should
so
switch
ugly,
to that.
but so crispy at the same time.
So the Eagles pull it off. They should. The Eagles. I would like to see them switch. Maybe they don't have to go back to the throwbacks full time, but the current style of the Eagles, but with the Kelly Green instead of the winter green or the forest green or whatever they call it. I think that'd be pretty dope. So anyway, the all NFC West team, Bert, was actually pretty easy for me.
Yeah, me too.
I have Geno as my quarterback.
Yep.
I have C-Mac as my running back.
Yep.
I have DK Metcalf, Brandon Ayuk, and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, my wide receiver 1.
Okay.
And then I have George Kittle as the tight end and the Niners defense.
On minor changes. So I got Geno, C-Mac. I got DK and Kupp too. I went with Debo for my other wideout. And then I was going to go Kittle. Having him in my fantasy team last year, knowing how injury prone is and his ankle at this point is made of glass. So I went with Tyler Higbee, but with the Niners defense too.
Yeah. So I like Tyler Higbee. That's a good pick. That's a good pick.